Hannah, wait for us. He's lovely meeting. It's a rock bar. Oh, look at that. Look at Papa.
He's stand for a little.
That hole, so you know there was something else going on underneath. In 1907, sorry, we just not lean against the rock there, or the dirt, whatever it is. We're just not going to lean against the wall. Thank you. So, in 1907, Frank, being the miner that he was, got himself some explosives and blew that hole much bigger.
Like any good miner would.
Exactly. He then lowered himself down into the hole and discovered Fairy Cave. 3 years later, he was doing some further exploring inside Fairy Cave with two other men, Frederick Wilson, who was the first cave supervisor here, and Hercules Brown, who was the local constable. They crawled along on their bellies in a small passageway from Fairy Cave for about 60 to 70 metres with only candles for light, which is a really long way to crawl along on your belly with only a candle for light. But it did pay off because they eventually came out into this cave and discovered this cave. Now, we couldn't exactly expect the general public to be crawling along on their bellies for 60 to 70 metres to see this cave. So, over the next 3 years, they built an entrance tunnel. We can't actually access that entrance tunnel right now, as of the last 12 months approximately. But obviously our first tours would come through that entrance tunnel, but it wasn't a through tour. They would get to what will be our next stop, turn around and head out. In 1928, they decided they wanted to make this a through tour. So they moved their way up here with the plan of building the exit tunnel that you've come through. Very confusing, we are going through the cave backwards at the moment. Probably should have opened with that, never mind, you know now. This chamber here had a lot of mud in it that they had to dig out. While doing that, they discovered the partial skeleton of an extinct megafauna kangaroo. But what it looked like, our cutout over here behind these people. If you can't see the cutout right now, you will when we walk past in a minute. There's a cutout over there. Now, most of the skeleton got taken away to the Melbourne Museum, where it still lives in the basement. They very kindly left us with a couple of toe bones. So, if I can get everyone to look this way, I'm going to turn a spotlight on in a second. So, just there in my spotlight, here are two toe bones. Just where Brady's shining his torch now. Now, we don't think that the kangaroo fell down a hole and died down here. Because if there was a hole big enough for something that size to fall through, lots of other things would have fallen through as well.
We would have noticed.
Yeah, we would have found more bones, and we didn't. So we think that the kangaroo has died up on the surface. There's then been a flood, and the flood has washed part of the skeleton down a much smaller hole into here, which would explain why we only ever found part of the skeleton, the rest of it possibly stayed on the surface.
Or cracked into tiny pieces.
Maybe, that's possible.
going to encounter a zombie or something. You know what that's a joke too, right?
Yeah.
What is it then?
I don't know if you tell me.
Minecraft?
Minecraft. Minecraft.
You stopped suddenly. Yeah.
Watch yourself.
This is ducking, crouching is when you're on the floor. Yeah.
How are we going for space up there? Can you guys move up a little bit further? Yeah, look at that. Fantastic, guys. I know it's squishy, I do apologise. We can have a few people come up here as well. Just so I can stand here.
No comments.
It is a little bit, not a lot of headroom, unfortunately, but we do what we can. I can see Graham there, I assume. Yep, with that bright torch. Alright guys, so this really big formation in front of us all here is a flow stone. So it is formed by water flowing over and depositing the calcite as it goes. Just here in front of me we've got a formation that goes from floor to ceiling. That is a column. So we've got a stalagmite and a stalactite that have continued to grow until they reach and join. The different colours in our formations are caused by different things the water has picked up along the way. The natural colour of calcite is white, any other colour, and the water has picked up something else along the way. For example, minerals, bacteria and organic matter can all affect the colour of the formations in different ways. We can't put an exact growth rate on our formations. They all grow at a different rate, depending on a few things like how much water is coming through in any given spot, how much limestone the water has travelled through to pick up the calcite, that kind of thing. A very average growth rate is approximately 1 centimetre every 100 years. So these caves have not changed much since the day Frank first came into them. There are certainly some formations that have grown more than that and some less. It is a very average growth rate, but generally speaking, not a lot of change in the time that people have been coming through these caves. Now before we start heading back, has anybody got any questions for me?